Te Estrelava, The Making of an Ebony Goddess, by Anastasia the Phoenix Armourer and George Rampage Armourer. Chapter 1. Taboo ran along the backside of the substation as fast as he could carry the large sack with all the goods he had stolen. His keen senses told him that no one was following him, but he wanted to waste no time getting to the small space cruiser he hid in the shadows earlier. Getting on and off this substation is a breeze for him, because he knows every combination for all of the locks. He threw the large sack into the space cruiser, lowered the top and took off, laughing all the way at Jason, the stupid android guards who had tried so desperately on many occasions to catch him. The cruiser shot out of the airlock like a laser beam from a blaster. It flew across space to the Alpha Line Space Dock 409, which brought him to the Cloud9 restaurant, bar and casino. Taboo pulled the cruiser up next to Blazer's brand new 3x1000 intergalactic space skippers. Blazer had promised him that in a few months after the passing of the energy ribbon he would allow him to try it. He pulled the large sack over his shoulder and walked into the smoky bar. It was packed with what seemed like every species in the galaxy. Mids, Blazer's main girl, were on stage doing what she called singing. Rex's right-hand man was keeping a sharp eye on a group of crones who were drinking too much and being a bit too rowdy. Taboo walked to the rear of the bar to Blazer's table, who was sitting in his usual seat from where he could see the entire bar. Nothing got past those keen eyes of his. He smiled at Taboo and greeted him as he approached the table. "What's up, my friend?" asked Blazer, as he stood to his feet. He is a 6'6" tall black Havasian with long black curly hair. His face was smooth and handsome, and his fierce, black eyes took another quick survey across the bar. As he motioned Taboo to his private chambers in the back. The rooms were lavishly furnished with the best that Latin could buy. Blazer was given the job of manager of Cloud9 by High Chancellor of the Alpha Line Ramon Cole. Taboo quickly put his sack on the floor next to a large table. "I got everything you wanted." He handed Blazer a silver disc. "Very good," said Blazer as he took the disc across the room and placed it in a small machine. Soon there was a picture of a section of space floating in front of him. "Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. You have done well, Taboo, as usual." The map showed a section of the mining colonies that were the Latinum mines of the Vandervelt family. The night passed quickly, and the music of the morning birds reached the ears of Ramon Cole as he turned over in his bed. This is a good day for him because today he will receive his new Monarch Dragon Star. He has been the High Chancellor of the Alpha Line for the past 20 years, and was pleased with the progress he had made. There had been a few setbacks, but they were not too hard to handle. He came here after a most unfortunate experience on a small outpost in the Orion Zone. He was tempted to return to his home on Havakia, but the Emperor persuaded him not to do so. He suggested that Ramon come here instead. Ramon tossed back the covers and got out of bed. He walked to his terrace to greet the new day, wearing only his white night skirt. His beautiful upper body glistened in the glow of the orb's first light. He was a tall man about 6 feet 7 inches with long black hair with a touch of gray at the temples with green eyes. How he loved to watch the rising of the orb on the upper plateau of the line. It looked just like the rising of the sun on his home planet Hovatskia. The sound of his servant, Kar, walking towards him broke his peace. "Sorry to disturb you, sir, but the Elder Korra Knights is on the phone for you," he said as he assisted Ramon into his morning robe. "Thank you, Kar." Ramon turned and went inside. Korra was a good-looking older woman, not beautiful, but comely. Ramon sat down in front of the screen. "Yes, Korra. How are you?" "Hello, Ramon. I am fine. This is a big day for us." "Yes, it is, and I am glad it is finally here." "Well, all is ready for the ceremony. May Standish and I worked very hard last night tying up all the loose ends. Let me know if you need us to do anything else." "Thank you, Korra. I must go now. I have much to do and I must get started." "I understand. See you in a few hours." At this time, Leo Delva was making his morning rounds. He is one of 6 male elders of the Alpha line and had been here for the past 50 years. A strong man and being very private, he kept to himself. As head elder, he was a counselor for many men on the line. Especially, the High Chancellor Ramon Cayley. He had seen 2 other chancellors come and go, but never really cared for any one of them as much as he liked Ramon. He greatly respected and admired the man, so this morning, his path had taken a direct line to Ramon's private quarters on the upper level of the line. He placed his hand on the door frame and the image of Kar appeared in front of him. "Good morning, Kar. I am here to see the High Chancellor. Please tell him it is very important." Kar disappeared from the screen, and in a short moment the door opened and Leo entered. Ramon came towards him dressed in a formal suit. "Good morning, Elder. How is everything going?" "Well, sir, I just received some very interesting news about the Monarch Dragon Star that I think you should know." "Really? Please sit down." Ramon showed him to a chair. "Now, what is it?" asked Ramon, bracing himself for anything. He had known Leo Delva for 20 years, and knew that it must be very important for him to come to his private quarters. "I found out that the Monarch Dragon Star the Emperor assigned to us is none other than your old girlfriend Telstra Lava." "What?" Ramon sprang to his feet. "Are you sure?" he asked in disbelief. Ramon looked as though someone had just knocked the wind out of him. "I'm sorry, sir. I thought you should know before she came in today." "How do you know this?" Ramon asked, his voice low as though his tongue had become heavy to speak the words. "It's true, Ramon. My source is extremely reliable. Tay Estra is coming." The tones of Leo's voice convinced Ramon that he knew what he was saying was true. "How many people here know about this?" "Just you and me," said Leo. "Please, let it remain between us. Tell no one else. They will all find out in time. You must go now, Leo. I have some thinking to do." "Yes, sir. I will see you at the ceremony later this morning." Leo then left Ramon's private quarters. As Leo left, in walked Cynthia Grant. She is attached to Ramon. She and her father used their wealth to trap Ramon. He needed a lot of money. His family was in trouble and almost lost everything to the bank. The Latinum mines, their homes, their businesses, everything was in trouble, and the Grants were the only ones willing to help the Kaols with an enormous loan. However, there were 3 strings attached. Not only did he have to pay back millions with interest, he had to take Cynthia as well. They could not make him marry her, but he signed a contract to be with her for as long as she wants, and he can't marry anyone else. The contract was made with a demon and it cannot be broken. Only the demon could break it, and he was well paid by the Grants not to do so. Ramon hates Cynthia. He can't stand to make love with her. She would like to live with him in his private quarters, but he will not allow it. She is completely in love with Ramon, and she believes that, in time, she will win his heart. The Kaols are doing much better these days. The mines are doing very well and they are repaying the grants. Cynthia is not a beautiful woman, although she acts like she is. The way she dresses and the way she carries herself is like that of a beautiful woman. She came to Ramon's quarters to have breakfast with him and to be seen by his side on this very important day. She likes to let everyone know that they are together and no one must interfere with their relationship. This is the kingdom, Genovia. It is a member of the United Cosmos star system. The Emperor of Genovia is Skylar Tamortera. He is immortal. His kingdom is divided into 2 sectors, each having their own prince or princess. The closest kingdom to Genovia is Miark, with who they have been at war for the past 300 years. They claim that they have found old star charts that show that the rich Latinum colonies in the east of Genovia is a part of Miark and they want the colonies back. They have vowed that if Genovia does not give the colonies back, that they will do everything in their power to destroy Genovia. So they attack the borders every day in an attempt to make good their threat. Genovia is 4 times larger than Miark, and her armies are larger, stronger, and much more powerful. The borders are protected by the Imperial fleet, which does battle every day to keep Genovia safe. In the south of Genovia there are 12 international lines. They are universities of higher learning and they are protected by the Dragon Stars. The Dragon Stars are great magical warriors with their own battleship and crew. The Monarch Dragon Star is a warrior who has reached levels 12 and 144 degrees. The Chancellors run the international OWL lines and each has 12 elders, 6 males and 6 females. There are also 12 regions per line. There is always a great deal of excitement when a line gets a new Dragon Star because it means more protection from the Miarks, and the Monarch Dragon Star is 10 times more powerful than the regular Dragon Star. That is why everyone on the Alpha line is so excited, because the Alpha line is closest to the mining colonies and the southern border of Genovia. Of all the lines it is in the most danger. The entire line was prepared for this event. The main hall was ready for 1,000 people for the banquet in honor of the Monarch Dragon Star. The Alpha line has 5 Dragon Stars, all male, and everyone assumed that the new star would be a man also. It was 5 years since the last Dragon Star carried to Alpha and they have had many battles. Ramon and his elders were waiting at the portal along with the 5 Dragon Stars to greet the monarch and take her into the banquet to meet everyone else. Soon, the time came for the Monarch Dragon Star of the Alpha International line. Please, welcome her. Taestra was teleported into the room through the portal. She stood there quietly looking directly at Ramon. She looked so beautiful in her green and black dragon uniform. Her red hair was braided and she wore a tiny gold band around her forehead, which was to show she was a monarch. Ramon walked forward and reached out his hand to the beautiful black woman. Welcome, Taestra. I am so pleased that you have been chosen to become a part of the Alpha line. Allow me to introduce you to my elders. The elders came forward and Ramon introduced them. Then the Dragon Stars came forward and were also introduced. Taestra shook the hands of all of them and smiled graciously at each one. Then they escorted her into the main hall where everyone was in shock to see the beautiful black woman with big green eyes and a perfect smile. After a moment, they all cheered and applauded in great delight. All but Cynthia, who almost fainted. She could not believe her eyes. She thought the problem of Taestra was over a long time ago, but here she is again. Ramon stood at the center of the stage with Taestra at his side. The elders stood behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you someone of great importance. She is the princess of my home planet, Hosha, and she has been my friend for many years. She has studied and works hard to reach the highest levels of her career. She served as a Dragon Star on Icar and the Pacific Lines and has now reached the level of Monarch. I give you the Monarch Dragon Star. The Princess, Taestra Jade Lava. Everyone stood to their feet and cheered as Taestra came downward and stood at the front of the stage. Thank you, High Chancellor Ramon Kaol. I am happy and honored to be here. I have come here to be your protector, to be your strong arm in war, and to be your shield in strife. I will not let anyone hinder or dissuade me. I will be steadfast to my task. I intend to be your beacon in the night. And, when you are lost, I will be there to bring you safely home. For I am your Monarch Dragon Star. Taestra to his table, where she sat at his right hand for the banquet. The band played beautiful music and the people eat and drink and had a good time. After the banquet, Ramon introduced Taestra to the 12 regents and a few other people who wanted to meet her personally. Taestra moved with elegance and grace among the crowd. She looked like the queen of the dragon stars. The crowd began to thin out, as the people began to leave. Ramon then took Estra to his private office where he could speak to her alone. "Welcome again, Estra. It is good to have you here at Alpha." They looked longingly into each other's eyes. "I have found out the truth about you and the Grant family, and I want to help you break free of the contract." "I am afraid that the contract cannot be broken, Estra. A great price was paid in blood to keep it intact." "Look, Ramon, why didn't you tell me about this when we were together a year ago? Why did you keep it a secret?" "Keeping it a secret is a part of the deal. I am not supposed to tell anyone about it. Cynthia acts like you are so in love with her that you don't want anyone else." "Yes, I know, but the truth is I can't stand her, and I wish she were dead. I only want to know one thing from you. What is the name of the demon that is holding the contract?" "I can't tell you that. I have sworn never to speak his name." Estra took a notepad out of her bracelet on her wrist, and gave it to Ramon. "Here, write it on this." Ramon took the pad and wrote the name Asmodeus, and then he handed it back to her. "I know this demon. I have had dealings with him before." "You have? How do you know him? And, what dealings have you had with him?" "Don't ask me questions I cannot answer. Just know that I am going to do everything in my power to break that contract. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to see my quarters now." Ramon took Estra up to the living quarters and showed her an apartment next to his. He told her that someone was showing the members of her crew to their living quarters on the lower decks. Her ship was in space dock. She is called the Phoenix and carries a crew of 6 deck hands. Estra went through the apartment, which was large and beautifully furnished. "Would you care to have a drink with me?" Estra motioned to the bar and Ramon agreed. She fixed 2 drinks and they sat down on the sofa close to each other. "I have missed you, Ramon, a great deal. I have missed you too. There was not a day that went by that I didn't think of you, but I know I cannot burden you with my problems, and Cynthia is one of them. Ramon, I told you before, I am not going to be with you as long as you are fucking Cynthia M, and I am sticking to that decision." "I know, Estra. I know that you mean what you say and your word on this issue is final, but this is tearing me apart, and the thought of you with someone else is more than I could bear." "There is something you don't know," Ramon was stunned when it was told to me, and I don't know if I should tell it to you. "What is it?" "I really would like to know your secret. Please, tell me. It is one of the reasons I asked to be assigned here. You will be free in 1 year." "What do you mean, Estra?" "If I cannot get Asmodeus to break the contract, you will only have 1 year to wait before you are free. You see, what the Grants don't know is that the contract is only for 20 years, and at the end of that time, Cynthia's life will be forfeit and the demon will take her soul." "What? That is not true. That is impossible. Who told you this?" "I cannot say who told me, but I assure you he is a very credible source. You have been with Cynthia for 19 years and next year it will be all over. It can't be, the Grants would never have agreed to that. They did not know it is a hidden clause in the contract." Ramon walked to the bar and made himself a drink and drank it in 1 gulp. "My God, if only it were true. I promise you, it is true. I have to go and find out about this. It is too good to be true. Estra, I must be going now, I have much to do." Ramon left Estra's apartment with great speed, his mind swimming with what he had just learned. She made herself a drink and turned on some music. This was a very good day.
What's up? This is Georgie. I want to thank my whole family, especially, you know what I'm saying, all y'all looked out for me while I was down here. You know, I'd like to thank you. Please, Esther, you know what I'm saying, thank you for your kindness, and I know you'll pull through this. You're a warrior, you're a fighter, you're one of the support of the Hoyt family. I want to thank you, KK. I want to thank you, Katrine, for all the lovely gifts and all that. I want to thank you, Dexter. I want to thank you, Derek, you know what I'm saying, for spending time with me down here, and you know what I'm saying, thank all of y'all for, you know, just being my family. But from the bottom of my heart, you know what I'm saying, I want to thank Karen, Special K Hoyt, you know what I'm saying, you always look out for me, man. You don't smile much, but you got the biggest heart in the family. You know, the family couldn't make it without you, and I know I couldn't, you know. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. And I mean, you know, to end off this performance, you know what I'm saying, this is my last day in New York City, Far Rockaway. I'd like to end it off with a little song, you feel me? I love my shirt. I love my shirt. My shirt is so comfortably lovely. Peace, love, and blessing. Whatever else you're stressing. If there's any questions, mail me to suggestions. Forgive my droopy eyes. It's early in the morning. Dang, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Make sure this never gets on the internet or nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's real early in the morning, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I enjoyed myself, you know what I'm saying, and you know, just you know what I'm saying, be a family, you know what I'm saying, stick together, you know what I'm saying, nobody gonna take care of us but us, you know what I'm saying. Peace, and I'm out.